evening and welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyaso. Tonight, Federal High Court in Lagos orders seizure of former Niger Delta militant leader Tom Polo's properties as the EFCC declares his whereabouts unknown. About 300,000 Nigerian children risked dying in 2016 due to malnutrition. UNICEF puts the number of malnourished children in the country at 1.6 million. INEC suspends rerun elections in Imo and parts of Plateau State following protests and court order against the exercise. And tension in Uganda as police continue detention of opposition leader Kizza Besigye after raid on his party's headquarters in Kampala.
And on Business News tonight, CEO of FMDQ OTC Exchange, Bola Onodikwe, seeks an adjustment at the parallel window through a tactful monetary policy.
And Sports News, League Management Company approves Dolphin Football Club change of name to Rivers United as the 2015-2016 season kicks off tomorrow.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos appear to be running out of patience following the refusal of the former Niger Delta militant Government Ekpemopolo, popularly known as Tom Polo, to give himself up after being declared wanted by the EFCC. The EFCC told the court today that a combined team of Nigerian police and military officers have been combing the creeks for weeks without success. Justice Ibrahim Buba then granted an order for the seizure of all listed properties belonging to Tom Polo.
If an accused person continues to abscond from court and conceal himself from arrest after a warrant of arrest has been issued, the law provides that all his properties should be confiscated until he appears, and after 3 months, if he still does not appear, they should be auctioned by the federal government. And that's what we have done. And the court granted our prayers to seize all his properties we find anywhere. That is what the court granted. We are going to separate the charge. We are going to keep his own until we get him, or until we auction his properties, and we continue with the other ones. We're just going to separate them so that he will stand alone from the other accused persons, because he is delaying the trial of the other accused person.
And the Federal High Court in Abuja has turned down the request by the federal government to allow its witnesses wear masks during the trial of self-proclaimed leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Trial Judge Justice James Soho said the prosecution did not give enough evidence to show that its witnesses were in danger. He agreed with counsel to the accused persons that the demeanor of a witness is important in helping the court decide if they were being truthful. Justice Soho said that the state has enough resources to protect its witnesses. The judge reiterated that an earlier order allowing lawyers, journalists and close relatives of the accused persons to sit in court remains. Trial has been adjourned to March the 17th, 2016. Meanwhile, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Ricky Tafa, has told the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos that it's not true he gave a bribe of 225,000 naira to Justice Muhammad Yunusa. The senior lawyer said that it's common knowledge in legal circles that Justice Yunusa lost his father-in-law on December the 28th, 2013 in Maiduguri. The money, he says, was a donation made by some friends of the judge towards the funeral rites of the judge's father-in-law. And now to this frightening report from UNICEF that 300,000 children in Nigeria are at risk of death due to malnutrition. The war on terror in the northeast has been identified as one of the key reasons for this emerging crisis. Addressing a gathering in Abuja, UNICEF's chief nutritionist in Nigeria called on the federal and state authorities to help save the affected children.
Organizers of this meeting say their objective is to make government act and save malnourished children from dying. First, the organizers read out statistics of malnourished children in Nigeria and what could happen if they are not treated.
More than 1.6 million Nigerian children between 6 months and 5 years old are suffering from severe acute malnutrition. And these children are 9 times more likely to die than well-nourished children. Without treatment, Do you know that about 300,000 of these children will die in 2016 alone?
1.6 million children are at risk of dying in Nigeria. Not today, this year. An estimated 1.6 million. And as you read the speech, what did I hear? Nobody was saying, are you serious? Almost 20% of these 1.6 million children in Nigeria are likely to die. If we do something, most of them will survive.
The group is also asking the federal government to create specific funding lines and increase awareness campaigns to save malnourished children from dying.
From the foregoing, we call on the federal, state and local governments to create nutrition-specific budget lines in the Ministries of Health, Education and Agriculture at the federal, state and LGA levels in Nigeria. We call on them to develop costed nutrition plans of action in all the state and LGA levels.
There is no shortage of food. Yeah, we have good food security. But what we have is knowledge, awareness. And we know that if you look at the NDHS does say that education, mothers' education is related to the outcome, nutritional outcome of children. So we can see that education and even household economic income of the household is also related to the nutrition outcome of children. So we can see that all these other factors interplay.
Over 13 million children under the age of 5 are said to be malnourished, with a projected 300,000 to die in 2016 alone if left untreated. This is obviously too huge a statistics for any government to ignore.
Well, joining me now to look at these worrying statistics coming from UNICEF is the medical director, Dr. Amos Azon. Thanks a lot for joining us on the news at 10 tonight.
Thank you.
Now, these figures are pretty worrying, and we do know that earlier on in the week, the president himself had talked about starvation, malnutrition as well, going on in the northeast. And we heard if we do something, some of them might not die. What is that thing that we must do quickly now?
That is a very worrisome figure we have because it's a preventable death. What we need to do, first of all, the government is already doing it. Like they have promised that there will be a meal for all child. Right? Every school child now will have like a meal in a day. That will help, okay? We need to educate our people. If you educate a woman, you have educated a nation, okay? If we educate them very well on the need for balanced diet, that would help. I must state again that the reason why this figure is high is because a part of the country right now is riven with instability, right? And a lot of people are internally displaced, and that's quite worrisome. So if the government should put some budgets aside, okay, for children under 5, for instance, okay, that will really help, one. And if you educate the mothers on the need for balanced diet, that will really help.
You're talking about children under 5. Where do you think the majority of the number of these children are? Is it in the IDP camps? Are they in the cities and in the villages in those vulnerable areas? What has led to this rise as we see it?
Oh, well, they are more in the rural areas. You hardly find malnourished children in urban cities, but in the rural area, yes. Now that we have wars, or a lot of children are in the internally displaced homes, right? They don't have homes and they don't have care. I think that's why the figure is getting high.
All right, now we can see this humanitarian, let me not call it a crisis, issue, almost becoming in the forefront. Initially, everybody was talking about security of the area and arms. What is the first step that should be taken is still the question that I'm asking tonight.
The first step that who should take, that the government should take?
That the government should take, seeing as the figures are as alarming as they are.
Well, the first thing I think they should do is what they have initiated, right? The figure is high, yes. They say they want to feed every child at least once a day meal. That would help.
In generally, or are you talking about in the IDP?
No, they're talking of generally.
Right.
Generally, when you feed children, okay, a lot of these children are in public schools. For those that are in school, for those in the IDPs, right, there aids a lot to help them. So they should ensure that whatever is allocated for these children and for those in camp is really followed up and used as stated.
All right, Dr. Amos Azu, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on the news at 10 tonight.
Thanks for having me.
The Lagos State government has confirmed the outbreak of a suspected febrile rash in Etiosa local government area. The State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Jide Idris, confirmed the outbreak today at a news conference in Ikeja, the state capital. He revealed that 17 children within the age of 8 and 72 months have died as a result of the illness since the signs and symptoms were identified by their parents in the first case on January the 6th, 2016. The cause of the outbreak is yet to be confirmed. However, blood samples from patients and water samples from the community have been taken to the Virology Reference Laboratory at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital and the Lagos State Drug Quality Control Laboratory for further investigation.
We are actively searching for the cases. There is a house-to-house search for cases is still going on. 47 sick children were found, out of which 34, like we said, have been line listed for follow-up. Local supplemental immunization, and when we got there, immediate immunization of the children who are alive with measles vaccines were instituted immediately, and including vitamin A supplementation. 8 blood samples and 7 throat swabs were also collected from the cases of those people with the illness and will be sent to the laboratory for measles and other positive viral illnesses.